What is up, you guys? What is up? What is up? What is up? I might, wait. What is up, you guys? I don't know why that's on, but I might go off for a little bit. I'm just kind of messing with this new layout, as you can see. Um, doing a little kind of. Let me mess around with this for a little bit. So if you guys are seeing this, I'm just obviously you can tell there's a new layout here. Um, I'm just doing a live stream, but I'm trying to. I'm using Streamlabs OBS, so I'm doing this. Obviously, it looks a lot nicer, but I'm still kind of ironing out some kinks. Um, Trying to. I guess I don't have to do anything for YouTube. I think All right, cool. Seems like it actually looks pretty good so far. So yeah. What is up, you guys? Making sure it sounds okay. Seeing through my phone, I'm kind of double checking it, seeing what you guys see. What's up? Oh, what up, man? Do I remember? I don't remember. Obviously, because the thing is, it's kind of like a teacher. How a teacher can the students can remember the teacher, but the teacher can't remember everybody. I see more people than people see me. So, and plus, I don't see a picture with your face. So, what's your name? Just doing a Q&A stream for people who want to learn more about fitness, who have any questions about anything. I talk about pretty much everything on here, MMA. Uh, okay, huh? I can't remember. I know I've talked to people about um I've talked to people about like doing like recording videos, like camera work. I've talked to people I don't remember at like that specific, but I mean if you remember. What's up? How you doing? You got work? Yep. I'm just trying to get more frequent with these live streams. Before I didn't have this little layout right here, so if the sound sounds a little off or if it's delayed, like it's getting delayed to answering your questions. I'm not sure how big the stream delay is. Um, but yeah, it took me like 2 hours to set this shit up. Yep, I gotta work out later. It's hard to not want to take pre-workout every day, but I can't. Yeah, man. If you got any questions, let me know. Rid of this real quick. But yeah, I got yesterday I had legs, did deadlifts. I hit 425 for five. That was a PR for five rep max. That was definitely a 5 rep max. Today I got upper body push, so I got chest, shoulders, triceps, those muscle groups. I got core again tonight. Tomorrow I got boxing, and yep, and then pretty much staying on the lifting stuff all the time. Working on my website, uh, working on some training programs. hell noise is that? So yeah, I hope anyone who watches, I hope you guys like the hope you guys like the overlay. Pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie, I like the way it looks. Seems pretty simple. I wonder how you do a test stream on here though. Seems straight. Okay. For some reason, I thought for a little bit it was streaming me on Mixer too. I was about to say, what the fuck? Where did I see that Mixer tab at? Oh no no no! What am I doing? I don't need desktop audio, so I don't think so. No. So yeah, if you guys got any questions, anything, let me know. Um, Anything fitness related. I'm looking at my recent subscribers. Josiah, thank you. I am the SEO guy, thank you. Wolf Sumner, thank you. So now Atapatu, thank you. Charlie Bucket, Brandon K, Syrian Scud, James, Yasin Chalk, all you guys, thank you for subbing to my channel. It's pretty cool. Showing me all my recent subs on here. Yeah, pretty cool. Just yeah, enjoying life, lifting. In about I'm on week 5 of my volume block. After after I'm on the 3rd day of week 5 of my volume block. I have 6 weeks, so I gotta finish this week. I got, not including today, I have 3 more days in this week for my lifting week. You guys might be like, well, the week just started, but I have 3 more days of my lifting week. My lifting week kind of started at the end of the week. It was a weird setup. But I so yeah, I have to finish this week 5. Then I have uh week 6, and then once I finish week 6, I got a deload week, And then after that deload week, I got to start my intensity block. So my volume block, my main goal is two things during my volume block. And I'm not including like getting injured or anything like that. I mean like injury prevention. I'm just talking about when it comes to performance. I'm doing two things: is to maintain my strength and to gain muscle. I'm not really trying to increase strength, but there's probably going to be an increase of strength just from lifting. But that's not my main goal. My main goal is to maintain strength, remember that strength, keep that strength kind of like sharp, and then and then on top of that, it's to gain muscle. That is the main purpose of the volume block: is to gain muscle and to maintain strength, to keep my strength sharp, my technique sharp. Um, I wouldn't be so like I said, I wouldn't be surprised if I did gain muscle. I mean, gain strength because of the increase of muscle mass. And I'm should be on a good diet, eating a good amount. Then after I finish my volume block and I go into my deload's main purpose, it's only 1 week, is to minimize fatigue. Sorry about that. Um, the main purpose is to whoa um of a deload is to minimize fatigue. So all that fatigue you had from just adding all that volume, you want to drop it down. You kind of want to get yourself ready for the intensity block. And the main purpose of the intensity block is to use that newfound muscle mass and that sharp technique to increase strength. And how do you do that during an intensity block? Is you want to increase specificity. And to increase specificity, you probably want increased frequency, and then you want to get more intense in regards to intensity of percentage of one rep max. So you want to train heavier in the lower rep ranges. So yeah, so my volume block again. The purpose of that is to mainly to gain muscle and to keep my strength on point. And the main purpose of my intensity block is to use that newfound muscle mass to maximize strength and push it further to get some um to get a new PR. That's the point. Because again, it's your and volume blocks different from intensity blocks. Is volume blocks there should be lower rep range, should be higher rep ranges. They should be focused on volume. They're going to be less intense on a per set basis than intensity blocks. Obviously, it's called an intensity block for a reason. Um, volume blocks are intense in different type of ways. Like not intense. I'm saying intense generally. They're hard because again, all the volume you're accumulating, but you shouldn't be going to failure. Sometimes there, like for example, on my deadlift sets yesterday, my last set I went to like a 9.5 RPE, but that was on one set. The other sets were like 5 to 7 RPE, easy 5 to 7. So I only had one really hard set, which isn't too bad. Form was good, and what else? Yeah. So besides that, so yeah, that's the main. So that's some good key points between those two. A volume block is going to be lower rep ranges. I mean, an intensity block is going to be lower rep ranges. It's going to be heavier loads. You're probably going to get a little bit closer to failure on average. Because again, you have to think you want to kind of mimic what a one rep max is going to be like to an extent. And a one rep max is going to be heavy. It's not going to be a one rep max should be around a 9 to a 10 RPE. Or a 9.5 RPE, 10 RPE. If a one rep max is like a 7 RPE, if you feel like you could have got 3 more reps, you're not doing a one rep max. Ask anyone. Like a one rep max, you're gonna be kind of walking that line of failure. On that one rep. Like if you don't have any, if you have, you should have a small uncertainty to whether or not you're gonna get your one rep max. A small uncertainty. Now, I'm not saying work with a weight that for when you test to work with what you're not going to get. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying if every single time you take a 1 rep max, if you're like, oh no, I'm going to get this, it's guaranteed, I already know I can do it, you're kind of really not pushing yourself. And remember, just because you're walking that thin line, it doesn't mean you can't have spotters. It doesn't mean you can't still live safe. Think about a squat. I have the safety bar set up when I squat so that if I can't get it up, I just keep going down into the hole, and then the bar just hits the safety rack, the safety bars. Yeah, and it doesn't no potential for injury. If I'm close to my 1 rep max, which you should be, or right around that, you should be able to lower the weight in a squat. Um, you should be able to lower it. It doesn't mean you can't. That doesn't mean that you can't work with it. It doesn't mean that you can. It doesn't mean that you can't work with around your heavy 1 rep max. Deadlift should be simple. I mean, if you have good form, just you just drop the weight if you can't get it. Bench press again, you probably need a spotter for that, or maybe two if you're benching a lot. If you're benching 400 or 500 pounds, you're gonna need probably two spotters, or one really strong spotter. If you got like a big guy that's a lifter, you probably can be okay with one. But I mean, typically you're gonna want two spotters if you're going crazy heavyweight. If you're someone like me who's not a crazy big bencher, if I have one good spotter, I'm okay. Um, so yeah, so that's what I'm saying. Your 1 rep max attempt should be pretty hard, so that when you're doing um, your intensity block should be how do I say this? Your intensity block should be what day is it? Okay. Your intensity block should be kind of, how do I say, they should be you over that span of your intensity block. My intensity block is 4 weeks long. You should start with less volume than your volume block, and between weeks 1 through 4 you should gradually reduce volume slightly, but you should increase the intensity and percentage of 1 rep max. So you should be getting heavier, and you should keep going lower and lower rep ranges to the point where your last week you might even just be doing like singles, doubles, and triples. Yeah, so that's pretty much what you're gonna do in your intensity block. Let me share this stream out real quick. But yeah, so I'm like 3, 4 weeks out from my intensity block. I'm eating so much fucking food right now, it's ridiculous. Just uh sending this out right now. What up? Whoever's watching, what up? Thank you. But yeah, so I got about 4 weeks. No, 4 weeks till my intensity block, because I got about 2 weeks left, a week and a half. So yeah, I'm about 3 weeks away from my intensity block. And then with my intensity block, my goal is to increase strength, um, which means I need to increase specificity because I'm specifically testing for 1 rep max attempts. And then yeah, after that I'll take another deload, and then I will Yes, you can. What up? If it's a troll question, I might not ask it though. I mean, I might not answer it, depending on what it is. I mean, your name is Joe. I mean, we all know where that leads to with YouTube and the internet. You can't really tell what someone where a conversation's headed. You said when people say movie gains are about or muscle gains are about a year. Is that a time frame, or is it more to do with the muscle gain and when you're being the point where gains slow down? Um, so I don't know where you heard a year. That's kind of like a arbitrary number. People like saying a year because a year is like how we kind of measure like life, and that's a big unit of our life. But our muscle and our bodies don't really go by years. Typically, when people measure like maybe muscle mass in like studies and stuff, not many studies will measure muscle mass over a year. Exercise science is kind of lacking in long-term studies, but you just generally need to understand this is that at the beginning of your training career, whenever you start seriously lifting, you are going to gain the most muscle mass at the beginning. So as you keep training and training and training, it's going to get slower and slower and slower to the point where you are doing a lot more work for this much gains. So you might get 80% of your entire muscle. Let's just say you're training for 30 years, you're lifting weights for 30 years. You might get most of your muscle mass in the first three to 5 years. In the last 25 years, you're getting less muscle mass than you did, or maybe equal. Again, I can't put a number on it, but you're getting, um, it slows down. Um, so for like new gains or beginner gains, that's pretty much what that is. So like, I'm not gonna put a number on it, but like a beginner, if your shit's on point, you could maybe get around 15 pounds of muscle mass. I don't have any sources on me. This is just up the top of my head, but around 15 pounds of muscle in a year, if everything's on point. And again, that's gonna vary drastically. Everybody's different, so you could say 10 to 20 pounds of muscle in the first year. Some people might be freaks and gain 20 pounds of muscle. Some people might be slower gainers and gain like 8 pounds of muscle. But regardless, it's going to slow down after that. So each year you're going to get less and less and less. And I'm not sure how that works exponentially. Um, so yeah, so I wouldn't even worry about trying to quantify it though. If you're trying to look for exact numbers and measurements, it doesn't matter even what you read in a study. It's going to be different from you. You just need to understand is that most of your gains are going to be at the beginning. But you have to remember too, a noob or a beginner is implying that you are just starting out. So you're going from doing nothing to something. Now, if you were someone who's on a bad program, if you were on a bad program, you're just doing, there's so many holes in your program, and you go from a bad program to a good program, you probably are going to see some noob gains there. So there are people who maybe have been training for 6, 7, 8 years who are on a horrible program. Their volumes all fucked up, their frequencies messed up. They're picking exercises that give them little return on investment. If these people were to go into an actually proper periodized program, they might actually have some noob gains that they never really touched on. So assuming you're on a good program, that's what's gonna happen. But if someone's on a bad program, they might still have some noob gains to get. So yeah, but ultimately yes. So I wouldn't think in time frames. Just know as time goes by, months, years, it doesn't matter the time frame. Your gains are going to slow down. Um, so if you're on a good program from the beginning, you're going to get a lot of muscle, but it's going to slow down. If you're on a bad program and you stay on a bad program, you're not going to gain much muscle, and it's going to slow down on top of that. Yes, you can definitely. That's a good way to put it. If you had a bad program, you could see sudden spikes. A common one that I see still is frequency. I see a lot of people who will only be hitting For example, chest 1 time per week. It doesn't matter how they progress that. Studies have shown this, and in my practical experience, hitting chest 1 time a week is just not enough, or any muscle group in that for that matter. If you go from 1 times per week to 2 times per week frequency or 3 times per week frequency, you're gonna see more gains. It's I wouldn't have a doubt in my mind. You said also, how much do you think genetics play in muscle strength as opposed to size? Because some of my friends are hella weak but look amazing, and some are way stronger but look terrible. Rep range? What do you mean by rep range? You just gonna? I can answer your first part though. Genetics are gonna play a huge role in everything. Um, you have to understand is that you can't always go by uh, how someone looks. Muscle mass is a component of strength. It is. And in long term strength development, I'm talking years and years and years, muscle mass is actually one of the biggest factors uh, to how strong you're going to become. But there are other factors, such as like neurological adaptations. There are other factors besides muscle mass, like again, like neurological adaptations, skill acquisition, um, uh, ligament and tendon changes, something as simple as like you know, uh, just your mentality when you hit a one or a max. Sometimes people they don't know how to grind through a set. They're just not mentally. There's lots of little things that go into that. And you said rep range. Is this to do with sets of 4 versus 10? I'm actually doing. I have some videos on that right now. The last 2 videos I did, besides the live streams, are comparing lower rep ranges versus higher rep ranges in regards to hypertrophy. And if you're talking about sets of 4 reps versus 10 reps in regards to strength, lower repetitions are always going to be better for strength development. Lower repetitions and heavier weight. But some of your work should still be devoted to the higher rep ranges, because the higher rep ranges are the most efficient rep ranges to get volume, and volume is going to dictate the magnitude of adaptations in regards to hypertrophy. So volume and how jacked you are, how much muscle mass you are like a dose response relationship up to a point. Supposing you match volume, what would be the best rep and set range for both strength and size? Well, it depends on which one is your primary goal. Because both, if someone told me, they came to me and said, look, my main goal is to get stronger, they are still going to do hypertrophy work. Now, if another person came to me and said, my main goal is to get jacked, they are still going to do strength work. Each person's going to do the other kind of form of work. But in the proportion that they're doing it is not going to be as much. The strength athlete is going to do more of their total work in the lower rep ranges, but still have some moderate rep ranges. And also, to the person who's going for strength is going to have a lot higher specificity. So on top of them being in the lower rep ranges and heavier weight, the person trying to get stronger needs to train in the lifts that they're trying to get stronger at more frequently than someone who's looking to just gain muscle. Someone who's looking to gain muscle should train some of their work in the lower rep ranges, but most of their work should be in the 7 to 15 rep range. And on top of that, someone looking to gain muscle doesn't have to do a specific exercise. So it's a lot less specific to any exercise or any particular rep range. So to sum them up, if your goal is to get stronger, you're gonna whatever you want to get stronger. Let's just say it's the squat, bench, and dead. You want to do the squat, bench, and deadlift more often. Most of your work should be in the lower rep ranges, but you should devote some work into the more moderate rep ranges. Then someone whose main goal is looking to get jacked, some of your work should be in the lower rep ranges. Most of it should be in the 7 to 15 rep range, and then the exercises you pick are not specific. So you don't have to do a squat, a bench press, or a deadlift to get jacked. You do not. I can make a program where they never touch a bench press, a barbell bench press. You could do a dumbbell bench press. You could do push-ups. You could do so many other things to work the chest. So that's kind of a weighted question, but again, strength is all about specificity and gaining muscle to produce more force, whereas hypertrophy is just doing whatever you can to get jacked. So it's a lot different. It's a lot less specific. It's a lot different. There is no perfect exercise for hypertrophy. You can gain muscle for a muscle group using a variety of different exercises. So that's kind of like a, as much as I talk, that's still kind of a simplified version of it. So it's kind of like, yeah, and like you have to understand is that strength isn't as dose uh dose dependent to volume as hypertrophy is. So what would I say is a good bench progression? What well it depends. The more advanced you become with an exercise, you need to start implementing more advanced forms of progression in there. A beginner can, because of the fast neurological adaptation and skill acquisition they have, a beginner can simply add weight week to week, or even sometimes they can add weight session to session. But eventually they're gonna kind of tap that out pretty quick. If someone who's dedicated doesn't miss any workouts, if they just keep adding weight every single time they bench, eventually that's only gonna go on for so long. So, is that what you did, Joe? Did you go from 90 pounds 6 months to 180 just by adding weight every single session? Um, because that would just be like linear progression. You can go for someone who can't make progression that fast anymore. They can go to a linear periodization model where instead of simply adding weight week to week, what you can do is add weight week to week, but you can also drop the rep ranges. So let's just say week one you have 9 to 12 on bench, week two you do 7 to 8, week three you do 6 reps, and week 4 you do 5 reps. Week 5 is a deload, and then you start back at week 1 slightly heavier in that rep range than you did the previous week 1. So if the previous week 1 you did 180 for 9 to 12 or whatever, and you do the 5 week cycle by dropping rates, dropping rep ranges and increasing weight, then the next 5 week meso cycle on the week 1 you can go up to 185. So you would only go up in weight for that rep range every 5 weeks. You said you did once a week bench sets of 10 for 3 months. Then I saw videos and did 2 weekly sessions where I do strength work on a session on hypertrophy the next. Okay, so you're like on a, but how did you progress the weight though? Because what you're talking about is a daily undulating model where you go from different days have different rep ranges. Um, That's fine. That's fine. But how do you go from week 1 to week 2? Like, okay, let's just say you just started right now. You had 2 sessions. You did one for hypertrophy and one for strength. On 1 week for your hypertrophy, let's just say you did 150. What did you do the next week? Did you go to 155? Did you keep the weight the same? How often did you increase the weight per the same session? But what about per week? Because that's mainly what I want to know is like how did you progress week to week in regards to your weight for the same rep range? Like a strength set might be like 3 sets of 5, whereas a hypertrophy set might be 3 sets of 10. And on that 3 sets of 10, whatever weight you use, next week when you do that same 3 sets of 10, what weight did you use? Did you just increase 5 pounds? Um, okay. You never add a weight per. I do set to 10 with a certain weight. Then when I could do say a 12, I would. Okay, so you did a double progression model. That's called double progression, where you add weight when you add reps before you increase the weight, which is fine. Typically, that's like kind of more so for like smaller muscle groups or isolation movements. You said every week that you could add 5 to 12 pounds, 5 to 10 pounds. Okay. Typically, the double progression model is for like smaller muscle groups, like biceps or lateral raises, um where you'll have a large rep range. You'll have like a 10 to 17 rep range. Let's just say you're doing curls and you're doing curls with 20 pounds. 20 pounds, let's just say that lets you fall around 10, where it's kind of hard. Over the period of 5 weeks, you'll try to climb up that rep range without changing the weight. Now, once you can stay at that top of that rep range, 17 reps for every single set for a workout, and the RPE, you're not really getting too close to failure. Let's just say you've been working with that weight for so long that it becomes easy, and you're like, oh, okay, I can get every single set with 17 reps, and I'm not training to failure either. Then you can start back at the bottom of the rep range, but then you can go up in weight, which is kind of like what you said you're doing. You went from 10 reps, and then when you do 12 reps, you go up in weight. You said if I was trying to hit a two plate as quick as possible, what would you recommend? That is, that's a loaded question, man. It's a very loaded question. Yeah, have a weekly undulating model where you do different rep ranges throughout the week. So one day you have like a training in the lower rep ranges, heavier weight, like 5 reps, 3 reps. Another day you train in like um hypertrophy, so like around 10 reps, and then the third day you train like your strength day, except you go easier, so do a little less weight than your strength day and do like doubles or singles. um so you do each of those 3 days. You have a strength day, a hypertrophy day, and a power day. Your power day is an easier version of your strength day, just singles or doubles and slightly lower weight than your strength day. Your strength day would be a little harder because it might be a little more weight, like 3 to 5 reps or something. So you have those 3 days. Um, eat a lot of food. Yeah, it's hard to say. I can't start talking about progression models right now because that's like a whole different whole different talk. I'm actually working on some programs right now. They're not ready. They won't be ready for a few months. One of them is going to be powerlifting. So people who want to get like a bench, squat, deadlift up, the program's going to be for that. What accessories would you recommend for bench? I heard focusing on the long head and doing OHP is important. Uh, I would say overhead press is probably one of my favorite exercises to for an accessory for a bench press. Honestly, yeah, I would say overhead press. Accessories aren't, they're important, but like accessories are more for like fixing problems with your lifts. Maybe um I would have to see your bench press because I would have to see where your sticking points at, how your form looks. Um, yeah, it's kind of hard. So yeah, I would say overhead press, and then just I would say if you're really focused on bench, bench 3 times a week. That's the best way to get bench up. But every day should not be a hard day. Don't make every single day a hard day. Like I said, just do a strength day, a hypertrophy day, and a power day. Your power day should be kind of like your easy day. Semi heavy, but like focusing mainly on technique. Just do singles or doubles, double reps. Sets of just two, rack it, take a break. That should be your power day. Your power day is kind of like a heavy practice day. Um, if you do those 3 days, like I said, and you eat a lot of food, you're going to get to 2 plates. I'm telling you. And if you start feeling fatigued or beat up after a month or two, 6 weeks, something like that, just take a deload. Take a deload. See, I have to look this up again because again, a lot of people in exercise science and personal training, and they try to act like they know everything or they remember everything. I can't exactly remember, but from what I remember, if you're getting stuck 2 inches off the chest, that simply just means you need to get stronger. There's no huge weak points because a couple inches off the chest is literally the biomechanically it is the most disadvantageous position for most lifters or any lifter. So you're feeling at the point where it's the hardest, which is normal. That just means you need to get stronger. If you were failing at the lockout or something, that would mean something a little bit different. Um, but yeah, if you're failing off the I would say be patient, man. I mean, it sucks if you're trying to beat your friend, but if you rush it too much, it could have adverse effects. So, so yeah, that's what I would say is just train bench 3 days, a strength day, hypertrophy day, a power day. Eat a lot of food. Eat a lot of food to get enough protein. 1.6 to 2 grams of protein per kilogram of body weight, or around zero point 0.8 grams to 1 gram per pound of body weight, somewhere around there. If you do that consistently and you get enough sleep, you're not cheating out on sleep because so many people overlook sleep. They're just not getting enough sleep. You will. I could not see a reason why you're not going to get better than that. So uh, training wise on a macro level, that's what I would do. Technique wise, don't bench with your feet on the bench. Bench with your feet on the ground. Make sure you have a good arch when you bench. Um, Make sure you're not too narrow on your grip. I know some people recommend going a wide grip. Have a good night, man. Have a good night. If you have any questions, always ask, man. I'm always here. Don't forget to share my channel, man. Like the video. Subscribe if you know anyone who wants fitness tips. Have them subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get to 10K by the end of 2020, so 10K subscribers. Have a good night, man. Some good questions, really good questions. I need to look up the stream delay. The stream delay is huge as shit. What up? Whoever's watching, what up? How you doing? I need to do that. I need to lower this stream. There's a delay on this stream. Talking and you guys are hearing me like 20 seconds later. What up though, motherfuckers? How are you people doing? Huh. Still don't know how to do this shit. Hmm. What up, G's? What up, everybody? Let's get this YouTube channel to 10K subs by the end of 2020. How do you change YouTube to low latency? What is up? You guys are coming in? Ask me what you're feeling. Let me know what you're feeling. Joe already had a good questions. I thought he was about to roll up in this stream and hit me with a Joe Mama. I really thought he was about to do that. What up? What up? What up? How you guys doing? How was everybody doing today? I'm trying to figure out how to, let us see, settings. Hit these settings up. Settings. I'm trying to fix this stream delay. Not that bad, it's just kind of annoying. Kind of annoying, you know. There you go. There's a little bit here. Damn. YouTube Studio. I've been watching a lot of chess. A lot of chess. Let's get it. Mm-hmm. Why did I become a YouTuber? I became a YouTuber to help people. How do I say this? To help people better themselves in regards to fitness. So I liked fitness. I like teaching fitness. Um, and I wanted to reach people on a bigger scale because the more people I reach, the more people I can help. And as I started to go along with my fitness journey, I started to realize that the fitness industry is kind of ass. It's terrible. I don't mean that for every single person. There are a lot of good fitness YouTubers out there. Athlean X, Omar Isuf, Eric Helms, Greg Knuckles. I mean, Jeff Nappert. I could go down the list of people that I like, but most of fitness is horrible information. A lot of weak anecdotes, personal claims. This bicep exercise works for me. You'll do this, you'll get the best gains when there's no science. I understand there's a value to practical experience, but there's most people don't look at science at all in any way, nothing. There will be two or three meta analysis saying this, but then you'll have someone over here saying this because it worked for them. Whatever works for you should not trump a meta analysis. You got to combine practical experience with what the latest exercise science research says. So I guess after I started learning more and more about fitness, I just realized that you know that the industry needs help. We got a lot of people in here who have no idea what the hell they're talking about, and I feel like I know what I'm talking about. So yeah, I came in here to kind of fix that. And I know a lot of good people that can fix it. Oh, it's probably in here. What's up? Just looking up some settings on how to trying to fix some stuff in here. Doesn't really need fixing, it's just I know there's a small delay on here, so I'm trying to you're coming in, let me know how your day's going. If you have any questions about fitness, let me know. When you ask the question, wait a little bit because there's a little bit of a latency on here. Looking up these latency settings. What is up? Oh. Let's see how this works. Why is it not? I don't know. What up? How you guys doing? If you guys have a question, let me know. Just answering questions, fitness related or not. Be about MMA. I know you got some weirdos out there that are probably gonna ask me a weird question. Okay. Depending on what it is, I will answer it. You can be your weird ass self, and you can ask me what you want. I'm just currently trying to figure out how to fix the delay. You guys are seeing like my voice chat probably like 30 seconds after I'm saying it, which isn't too bad. It's just just a little bit different. When I'm doing like a live stream, it's like I want to be able to answer your questions and you guys to see it instantly or within a couple seconds, within 6, 7 seconds, 10 seconds. Just not like no 30 seconds or nothing. Who's just floating and not asking? Who's there? Introduce yourself. Who's who's uh who's peeping? I'm gonna see if that fixes it. I don't think it will, but yeah, see it just. Hope everyone's having a good day, good New Year's. Sure. Let me see. Young DC, let me see. I will sub to you right now. Oops. What do you do? Huh. Oh, there you go. I think I see you. I just subscribed to you. What's your channel about? You should probably put like a channel description, man. Are you sub to me, Young DC? Oh shit, tonight's New Year's. Forgot. People about to be getting fucked up tonight. Gotta stretch. Again, just checking this shit out. Wouldn't even answer my question. Totally forgot tonight was New Year's. Totally forgot. What up? How you doing? How was everybody doing? Was probably going to every single live channel saying sub to me. I totally forgot tonight was New Year's. I knew today was. I know it was around the 31st, but yeah, kind of weird. All right then, you guys, I have to go. Um, I appreciate everyone who stopped by. Thank you, Vitacity. Thank you, Joe, and Young DC. Even though you just asked me to sub to you, thank you too. Appreciate it. I'm gonna try to make these live streams a lot more frequent. I feel like setting up this stream kind of overlay helped a ton. Um, yeah, I really think it did help a ton. I appreciate everyone who stopped by. So I will see you guys next stream.